Chief officer, why are you not working? My hands are tied. You go to the ground, things are not working. So, Madam Speaker, while I sit down, I commit to my oath, which I took. And I will ensure, moving forward, that I will do what is supposed to be done. And if one thing to be done is total oversight to the executive. And when we find they are not doing the right work, we also have microphones outside. Tutaongea. Ndio wananchi watutoe kwa hiyo lawama. Saa yote ni sisi. Mheshimiwa Muli, you know the pain we are in Mwala. Kuna shida, barabara hakuna. Tutolewe kwa hiyo shida na tuachiliwe, kila mtu abebe msalaba wake. So kuyu akuje, usimpatie mpaka Monday. Na asiogope sisi. We are very intelligent people. Akuje na watu wake hapa, hata kesho ama Wednesday. We ask him questions, he answers questions. Then based on what we have, then we'll be able to make our decision on the way forward. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Brian. Given some, we have the minority leader. Let me give him an opportunity first, then we go to you, Honorable Katiti. Is that okay?
Thank you, Madam Speaker, or Madam Chair. Number one, I'm sorry today I've kept so quiet, and it is not my usual behavior. I have 3 reasons to behave the way I'm behaving. Honorable Speaker, as I was coming to this committee, I received a call that one of my relatives has hanged himself.
Oh, so sorry.
I went right back to see, and I just found him hanging on the tree. That is why I don't look like myself.
Sorry about that.
That is point number 1. Point number 2, Honorable Speaker, I'm keeping quiet because we have laws that govern or that directs on how this house should operate. Last time when we were speaking here, I asked a question and nobody gave me an answer. Why do we have laws? To govern and bring order and give procedure on how things should be done. Number 1, I'm requesting the honorable members to cool down, because what we are doing is exactly what the Constitution and what the standing orders mandate us to do. So there is no cause for alarm. Number 2, Honorable Speaker, our standing orders are very clear on what is supposed to be done if at all the assembly want to get information from any person. The Constitution also stipulates standing order in the Constitution, or Article 195 of the Constitution, gives the assembly or any of its committee powers to invite or to summon. What I want to say here, Honorable Speaker, there is a difference between an invite and a summon. Our standing orders says if an officer from the executive committee or from wherever is invited and he or she decides not to honor that invite, the standing orders give us a second invite, which is a reminder. And I believe every member is aware of that. Then, if the said person or officer does not honor that invite, that is when we now move to summons. And Honorable Speaker, the law also tells us if summons are issued and that particular officer designs 25, the summons. It gives the assembly powers to write to the DPP to arrest that particular person and take him to court. That is a procedure. I'm saying what I know. If you know something else, just wait for your turn. So, Honorable Speaker, the beauty of the matter is that you have given a date. And I treat that as a reminder of today's invite. Because you are just within what is stipulated in our standing orders. So I don't want to agree with those who are saying you have made a mistake of giving another date. We still the minister is not off the hook. We have a date with him. So, Honorable Speaker, that is why I'm saying the executive asks what it's supposed to do, and the assembly asks what it's supposed to do. Let no arm of government interfere with the other arm of government. As an assembly, this is an independent institution. Honorable Speaker, yesterday I was in Arambe with some members here, Katangi. We were about 12 members of this Honorable House. And Honorable members, I'm on record requesting the pastor in charge not to hurry up. In fact, they were saying that we should finish very fast so that we can go. And I told the pastor that was the only safe zone where we can relax at least, worship, and maybe have peace. Outside there, things are not as people expect. The appointing authority, who is the electorate, want answers from us. Why is it that Machakos is dark? Not forgetting Matu. The Mlikamwizis are off and they want answers. Why is it that our roads are not graded? And those answers they expect from the elected leaders. Honorable speakers, if we are not careful, the turnover is going to be very high. The turnover. Mheshimiwa Brian Kizila is an expert in counting the days that are remaining. And he has taught us that we have 2 years, 5 months, and how many days? 4 days. As they say, these wise men, a day has 12 hours, and a night has 12 hours. If anyone went to increase the number of hours for a daylight, or increase the number of darkness, or reduce, either way, the only available option is one. If you want to have 14 hours of daylight, because we have 12 hours, you wake up at 3 a.m., you will have increased 3 hours. If you want to reduce the number of hours, you sleep up to 10 a.m., you will have reduced the number of hours for that particular day. Honorable Speaker, time is not on our side, and if we are not careful, if the cockroach makes the noise it makes, or it crows at 3, and you pretend that there is any 9 left, you continue sleeping, the sun will point at you while on your bed. Time has come for us now to wake up, do what is supposed to be done by ourselves, and let what is supposed to be done by other people do. So, Honorable Speaker, the reason, and the third reason why I was quiet, in most cases when I speak fast, some members tend to think that whatever Ndawa has said is what we have to follow. Today I've kept quiet. I give members an opportunity to speak so that it does not appear as if I'm directing my speak to coerce people to go that direction. Honorable Speaker, the members have pronounced themselves. And it is evident that there is need for members to have a meeting with the said officer so that the information that the members require or the information that the assembly wants, we can be able to get that information. Honorable Speaker, Article 35 of the Constitution gives everyone, including the rank and file, right to access information. Whether held by an individual, whether held by a group of people, or whether held by an institution. It is a constitutional right. And Honorable Speaker, no one is above the law. If one is summoned, let him or her appear. Let him give his side of story. Then, from there, the House will make a determination. Honorable Speaker, I've heard my colleagues saying that you have erred somewhere in giving, when you are giving your communication. I would also advise that as the chair of the committee, you have a right to give what we call a considered ruling. After we have deliberated now. After this discussion, you have a right to give a considered ruling. And the ruling you are going to give, that is it we are going to abide by. So, Honorable Speaker, somebody went and said, it is Honorable Ndawa who said, so and so must be summoned here. So I'm saying this today.
The mood of this house is very different. And as the minority side, my leader is here. Minority leader is here. Our work is to streamline and ensure we make sure that the executive does their work. Minority leader, I want you to, when you stand to talk, to confirm that we are going to do what is right. And because that's why we elected you. And we will back you up, we will stand with you. Because we have stood with you. Tutasimama na wewe kidete. Kuhakikisha kwamba rasilimali ya Machakos imetumwa vizuri na wananchi wa Machakos wamepata haki yao. So anybody who thinks he has a small iota of doubt of what we can be able to do, let them watch this space moving forward. Madam Speaker, my last point is, I think you should not have made that ruling without consulting us. Because you are our chair, you need to reconsider that ruling. We cannot wait until Monday. If I tell you, I'm blessed come from Machakos, Mala level 4. Contracted workers have not been paid. Casual workers who sweep, who clean when my women on the ground give birth, have not been paid for the last 4 months. I made some noise, they were paid for 3 months. The hospital itself has got no money. We work tirelessly as a health committee. We passed the FIF Act. Money is available, but we are not seeing those hospitals working. So, Madam Speaker, as it is, things on the ground are different. We met Her Excellency the Governor, together with our leadership. She committed in front of us that we have got fuel cards worth 1.2 million shillings. And you know, it's the same information Her Excellency the Governor said it in public. Sasa mimi barabara sijakata, wanafikiri mimi, na wakasema ametupatia pesa sisi. Nimepatia MCA 1.2 million. Nikienda kwa ground naulizwa, wewe mheshimiwa, hii 1.2 million nimekula iko wapi? Na mimi sasa nimekula pesa wapi? Barabara hakuna mafuta, mashini zote zimeharibika. Where are we heading to? We have 2 years, 5 months, and 4 days remaining. Honorable members, time is up. Even for special elect, time is up. Inategemea ni wangapi watarudi ndio murudi.
Hello everyone, I'm excited to introduce Blue Song, the new standard solution, 30 kilowatts and 50.
Machakos yesterday. So, Madam Speaker, we accept the communication, but we need a verification to confirm that indeed the officer was indisposed and he was not able to appear before this committee. Madam Speaker, a lot was happening over the weekend, and we cannot turn this house to a kangaroo house.
Honorable
That
member.
people, and this, Madam Speaker, as I finish.
Honorable, have you? The letter is from a hospital of repute. The letter of sickness, of duty, is from a hospital of repute. Reputable
That
hospital.
is clear, Madam Speaker.
And I have the confidence that...
Madam Chair, we are not disputing the reputation of the office. What we want is just a confirmation that indeed the officer was indisposed. That is why he was not able to come. Because, Madam Speaker, what we are experiencing today is a confirmation of what, as a Committee of Finance, has been lamenting about. And, Madam Speaker, it is good that now you have experienced it yourself. So, Madam Speaker, what we are asking the officer to come and do is a matter that he took an oath of office that he was going to do his duties diligently. So, Madam Speaker, is not doing us a favor to appear before this house. And, Madam Speaker, oversight is our constitutional mandate, and we have right to get information. Although, Madam Speaker, you have directed that the officer appears again on Monday, Madam Speaker, we need to be ready. If Monday he doesn't show up again, whether sick or dead,
Let's not say that.
we will invoke the proceeding and the procedure of the House. Madam Speaker, we cannot be taken for granted because, Madam Speaker, we know the game and we know what he's trying to do. Thank you.
Sickness is beyond us. Sickness is beyond us.
No, this is trickery. Thank you,
Madam
Madam
Speaker.
Speaker.
Me to finish. Don't shout like that, members. Let me just say, sickness is beyond us. It's God who cures people. And I have said, if he has recovered, to appear before us on Monday. Have I not given a date? I've given a date. Yes. Honorable.
I was next.
Yeah.
Members,
Okay,
let's sober up. Let's lower our adrenaline levels. Let's lower our adrenaline levels. We are here to stay. Kuna mahali tunaenda, waheshimiwa. First and foremost, I want to thank you, honorable members, in a very special way. In a very, very special way. The attendance today is superb. Receive much appreciation from myself.
Thank you.
I think, Madam Speaker, there comes a time where things cannot be transacted as usual. We saw it coming and we were prepared. Madam Speaker, that is not the first letter that has ever landed in this institution or any other institutions. Letters come, the message is delivered, and the interpretation is quite different. We saw it coming, and I'm saying it without any fear of contradiction, that we saw it coming. Madam Speaker, we are following the precedents of the National Assembly. The County Assembly is not a lesser institution than the National Assembly. The procedures and everything is the same. When this County Assembly came to being, we used the standing orders of the National Assembly and transacted business, legal business. And Madam Speaker, a precedent has already been set in the National Assembly. When a CS is summoned, not even by the General Oversight Committee, by a substantive committee, select committee, that CS appears with immediate effect because it is under a certificate of urgency. Madam Speaker, the officer under discussion today has outrightly proven to this House that he cannot and he has no respect at all for this House. Madam Speaker, allow us to validate. It does not matter whether we will finish this business even tomorrow. Madam Speaker, it is the greatest misdemeanor for this honorable CEC. And in fact, it's not even honorable. It doesn't deserve that name. It deserves the name of a horrible CEC. Yesterday and the week since these sermons were issued, he has been hovering around in political rallies. We have information even as late as yesterday. He summoned revenue officers at the county headquarters and instructed them to enhance revenue collection. Did he fall sick at night? My Speaker, let me say this without any fear of contradiction. He has sought and prayed for sickness. Whatever you pray for is what you get. Yes. He wishes to be in matter. And because that is what he has prayed for, that is where he will belong. There is the power of the tongue. There is the power of the conviction. If he has already convicted of himself of being in hospital, amen, that is where he will belong. Amen. Either today, tomorrow, or for the rest of his life. Madam Speaker, we are speaking about, honorable members, I beg your silence. Madam Speaker, the honorable members seated here are representing more than 1 million people whose hope and trust is under them. Article 1 of the Constitution says this, Madam Speaker. The sovereignty of the Constitution lies directly to the people, and it shall be exercised in the following manners. 1, by the people themselves. 2, by the elected members in the National Assembly and in the County Assembly. That is Article 1 of the Constitution. Not seeing all the other articles of the Constitution. So this is a legitimate body that has got the oversight role and the constitutional role, Madam Speaker, to represent over 1 million residents of Machakos. If an officer who was vetted by this House can ignore a general oversight attendance of this house. Madam Speaker, we don't even need any other arithmetics. In fact, my prayer is, as late or as soon as tomorrow morning, we need to have a censure motion for that officer. There's no shortcut. There's no negotiation, Madam Speaker. And I can tell you, Madam Speaker, I don't want to go that direction. We have explored all mechanisms. He has been summoned in relevant sectoral committees. He has applied the same theatrics. He has applied the same escapism mechanisms. He has applied the same rat and mice, monkey tricks to try to evade this house, Madam Speaker. It will not end up good with him. And I want to send him that message. So, Madam Speaker, because we have so many speakers lining up, the officer coincidentally did that letter to dupe this house. And Madam Speaker, let me tell you one thing. This is a house of politics. We eat, we drink, we walk, we sleep politics. Yes. Or what has happened over the weekend and since the day that this house decided to have a general oversight committee, none of the members isn't aware of partly of it. There has been so many calls, there has been so many negotiations, there has been so many engagements, and he only chose to go to the hospital. That is where you belong. Madam Speaker, I would request of this house, even if the officer says that he will come on Monday, and if you have listened together carefully, honorable members, the letter says if he will have recovered, kama atakuwa amepona. Madam Speaker, he can run away for days, weeks, months, even years. But the censure motion will treat him abnormally wherever he is. Correct. Whether receiving medication or enjoying himself, wherever he is enjoying. Madam Speaker, the censure motion does not stop us from proceeding and doing what is necessary. Madam Speaker, this house will never be treated like a lower house. These honorable members will not be treated like men in the streets. They were brought here by people of integrity. They are men of women of integrity in this house, Madam Speaker. We will not allow this house to be misused any further. Any officer who was vetted by this house must be answerable to this house, because this is where the sovereignty of the people of Machakos County lies. Correct. Finally, Madam Speaker, that letter does not show any commitment at all. And Madam Speaker, I want to request of this house that the officer, because he has said he is on medical leave or whatever language he has used, he should not appear in any office in Machakos County until the said date. And if he chooses to appear tomorrow, Madam Speaker, we will tomorrow convene here in the morning and demand to have a general oversight committee in the afternoon, because he has already been seen in office. So the letter does not bind us that we have to wait until Monday so that he can come. So at whatever circumstances, Madam, that when we see or hear the officer has been seen anywhere around the Machakos County government offices, the officer should appear with immediate effect. But that does not stop this house from proceeding with the censure motion. And by so doing, we will consult. If there's no one to present it, personally, because I sought for the General Oversight Committee, I'm going to prepare the censure motion. It's a clear indication this officer has outrightly disrespected this honorable house, Madam Speaker. I tend not to agree with the letter in totality, but he has chosen to be where he is, and that's where he will belong.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Mwanga, sorry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to start by quoting the Robo proverb. You cannot treat diarrhea by stitching the anus. That is an Robo proverb, and it was popularly used by the late President for Malawi, the late Honorable Robert Mugabe. In paraphrasing, this is what he said: you cannot treat diarrhea by stitching the anus. What the CEC is trying to do is treating diarrhea by stitching the anus. Madam Speaker, the message or the letter you have read to this oversight committee, there is the word if. If, meaning he is not sure whether he will appear before this committee coming Monday. What does that one tell you? It can be 1 year from now. It can be 2 years from now. Members, I want we take the route that Honorable Member for Mudwani has suggested. If the CCM appears anywhere in Machakos County, within the boundaries of Machakos County, performing any duty as the CCM, we should immediately convene and discuss about him immediately. Madam Speaker, this is not an ordinary House committee. Although an ordinary House committee has powers, this is a general oversight committee, which is composed of all the members of this assembly, the 59 members of County Assembly, plus the Honorable Speaker. We are 16 number. Madam Speaker, you said that the letter is from a reputable hospital or institution. What you have read, it is not the letter which was written by that institution. It is the letter that has been written by the CCM, basing his argument on what the doctors told him, that he should be on sick leave. I want to ask you this. Yesterday, as early as from 9 a.m., he was meeting all the revenue officers of the county. After that, he went to a church where Wamunyoro was. After that, he was singing in the street of Machakos town. When did he fell sick? We are not fools. And even if they have been taking us for fools, we are no longer fools from now. You may cheat people, you may fool people for some time, but not always. I want to assure the executive, and especially the CCM finance, our people are suffering in hospitals for lack of finances to buy drugs. Our people are dying in hospitals because they cannot get necessary services, because he has become a dictator and no officer can approach him, even the chief officers. I want to tell you, Madam Speaker. Okay, let me address you as the chair, because this is a committee. The chair.
Proceed.
We are dealing with a gentleman. Who thinks that we are lesser beings, and who thinks that the MCAs are lesser than the CEC, who we approve in this honorable house. Members, I'm supporting Honorable Dominic Maida. Please walk the talk. Bring a motion tomorrow. We censor this ECM. I will second the motion. No matter whether the CEC comes from Masinga Central, Masinga Sub-County, it won't matter. We are dealing with somebody who has been given a responsibility. And the paper says, how much is given. Thank you, members.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Paul, then Honorable Maeke, Honorable Bula.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
D and Honorable.
My name
Johanna.
is
Sorry.
Paul Wambua.
Honorable Brian, not seen you for several days.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Paul Wambua, representing Kibaoni Ward. Madam Speaker, let me start by saying that sometimes as parents, we give birth to children and they end up becoming our gods. Madam Speaker, the community pays school fees for people, only that when they get money, they become demigods. They start being called muzee by a very old person. Madam Speaker, this house has created a demigod in the name of CCM Finance in Machakos County. You have clearly stated that the CCM is not well and may not come is not coming today. That is okay. When I was in employment and I worked with the CCM in the banking sector, whenever a lower cadre staff would ask for a sick-off, it was the work of the HR to go ahead and confirm whether indeed that member of staff was sick or was just having fun and doing his own things and not coming to work. And I support Mheshimiwa Kavyu that through your office, we also need to know whether that sick-off is a genuine sick-off or it's just another lie to this house. Madam Speaker, we are here because as a committee of finance, where I'm the vice chair, we have passed through what this house is passing today. We have written numerous letters to the CCM, but he has never turned up for serious committee business, Madam Speaker. He who has been given much, a lot is expected from them. And Madam Speaker, this house has given the CCM Finance a budget of up to $1 billion in development budget. At that same time, this same house has approved a budget of 300-something million, Madam Speaker, for water in this county. Water, a resource that is so precious, gets 380 million. CCM Finance gets 1 billion for a system that he has never shown us. Madam Speaker, this is the same CCM who has employed 480 revenue collection officers, Madam Speaker, while we have just been visited by clinical officers outside the parliament, this house, who are not employed and who are giving very important service to this county. Madam Speaker, we are in the third year, and the system that was supposed to be procured by the 1 billion that we've given this CCM has not been utilized. When we were vetting some of these officers, I gave advice to members who sit, to some of my friends who are members who sit in the committee that looks into those matters. And I told them that I have worked with Mr. Kuyu. And working with him, I know him very well. And he is a problem to this county, Madam Speaker. To date, employees of the county have not been paid. And these are the same people who support other members of the community in terms of employment and other things. And when I talk about employees of the county, we are also employees of the county, and we are there, Madam Speaker, and we are suffering together with the other employees. I don't want to say much, but I support what Mheshimiwa Dominic has said. This county is going to the dogs. Madam Speaker, I speak to CCMs who wonder why they are CCMs today. Because one Kuyu has become a god, and he controls everything. He sleeps on procurement processes that should benefit our people, Madam Speaker. He sleeps on money that is supposed to be doing ECDs in Kibaoni. He sleeps on money that is supposed to be fueling our graders to grade roads in Kibaoni, Madam Speaker. I will not support such a friend, because here we are at work, and when it's matters of work, there is no friendship. Madam Speaker, I'll finish by saying that his action of not showing up in this House committee is a confirmation of what the Finance Committee has been saying. And I confirm that I support what Mheshimiwa Dominic has said. Immediately, this member of the government is seen anywhere in Machakos, I will be there, because Mwanga has already seconded, I'll be there to that essential motion. Madam Speaker, another Doromo proverb, because Mwanga has mentioned a certain part of the body, also says, when you sleep with an itchy anus, you wake up with smelly fingers. Madam Speaker, this CCM, because he has been sleeping with us with an itchy anus, will surely wake up with smelly fingers, because what this house is going to do to him. If he can lie to God and to man that he's sick, when the day before yesterday he has been moving around playing politics around Machakos, when he is a public servant who should not be playing politics, then the curse of the people of Machakos and the wrath of this house will surely follow him. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Mike, Honorable PK, in that order. I had given other opportunities to other members. So PK, you'll be the last one. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, or rather the chair today. Much has been said about the current situation, and I think what we are discussing is very important, because when I was serving in the Committee of Planning and our HEBO chair, Mheshimiwa Kaloi, we passed through the same. And every time you would summon the CCM for finance, he'd give flimsy excuses. Madam Speaker, you've drawn to our attention about a communique that the CCM is sick. That is point number one. And he is not able to attend. And we will attend only and only if he is well. Now, Madam Speaker, I understand the CCM chair of the committee, thank you, Mheshimiwa Kavyu. The CCM works under the county secretary. On top of having letters from hospitals, because Madam Speaker, for your information, there are things we are calling artificial intelligence. I can get a letter from President saying that I'm sick. And even a speech. Madam Speaker, on top of that, because we want, I don't know what procedure will be followed, we want the authentication of that letter. And we want an official, because if Kuyu has been sick, we want an official communication from the county secretary confirming to this house that Kuyu has been sick, but he has the permission to go to meet and in political parties. So that the sickness only applies in the committee of the whole house, but does not commit. So that we want to know that unique sickness. That makes Kuyu to be in the political rallies on Saturday, to be, and even yesterday, Sunday, so that he can be able to go to political parties, but he cannot appear in a closed room. Maybe we can do the committee of the whole house at the stage where he feels we can come there. Madam Speaker, I've also been drawn to this paper, and I'm feeling that probably in one way or the other, we are not serving right. These are not the questions and the cries that we heard from the chairman, Revenue, the chairman, Finance. These are not the questions that we are hitching. When you look at this question, they look as if they are just another question which have been presented before. We want hard question. For example, why is it that the 1.5% goes to somebody, yet this honorable house has never allowed somebody to be taking money on our behalf? Those are the hard questions we need asked from this paper. Madam Speaker, we just don't want a questionnaire that will be slipped and then person will stand and say, it is not, I was not prepared for that question. Madam Speaker, if you want to save this house, the reputation of this house, for the last 2 weeks, and you've seen, I've gone back to the ground, and the ground is hostile for us. Things are not good. They cannot even give you permission to talk. Down at the ground, they are not even accepting monies. Things are tough on us. The same way we are singing many songs, there is a spirit of liberation in this country. Starting from the head of the state, to the governors, to the MCAs, and no one should be spared. Madam Speaker, we cannot have a CCM who thinks this house is a remote control. I'm yet to hear our honorable honorable majority leader speak about the same. I'm yet listening to hear from the minority to listen to the same, so that we understand that the same spirit we heard last week is the same figure and vitality we are having. I'm listening and waiting, because we know that in the first instances, and we've been spoken to throughout the week, and if it is politics, we are going to play politics. But remember, Madam Speaker, we made a promise to do politics in this honorable house. We made a promise to do our oversight in this house. We are going to do oversight here. And if oversight does not work here in this house, we shall do like Wamunyoro. We shall go to the people and make noise to the people and tell them exactly what is happening. But Madam Speaker, you have power. The majority side has power. The minority side has power. And the members have a lot of power. I think we need a way forward to set as an example, and we set a precedence for the generations to come. I'm sure of only 2.5 years. I'm not sure about the years to come. But I want record to be set straight that when we were serving as MCAs, we summoned a CEC who never came. Go to your files, Madam Speaker, from today. Get the reports from the chairmans who have ever asked CCM Kuyu to come for the meetings. You will find that letter is just edited, the notes alone. He is used of writing that letter. And we need also, for the right of information, we want to see that letter from the doctor, and even we make follow-ups to make with the management of Mata Hospital, and we ask them, why is it that the date, why is it that your sick person is in the politics, but he cannot come to your client or whatever? Madam Speaker, we are bitter. Madam Speaker, we are very, very war sana. Madam Speaker, we feel abused. We feel lowered. Madam Speaker, we feel bad. Because, Madam Speaker, as we speak, everybody is crying. Even us, we don't have salaries. Why? Koyo. We don't know why Koyo. We cannot have everything rotating around one person. Kwani yeye ni Mungu? Kwani Koyo ni Mungu? Ati sasa ndiyo oxygen hapa account yakitolewa. Mimi nasema hivi, waheshimiwa wenzangu, kama jinsi mheshimiwa wa kutoka Mudhwani amesema, ni wakati umefika na tujitolee na tuongee vizuri, na kesho kama Kuyu hata kuja na akionekana mahali popote ashikwe aletwe mahali hapa, Madam Chair, sababu hatuwezi tukakuwa hapa kama waheshimiwa. Na ninafikia mahali hapo ili nipatie waheshimiwa wenzangu kusema, lakini ya msingi na ya muno, Kuyu must go.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I had given Honorable Mbula.
No, you had given the PK.
I said PK is the last.
Oh, the last.
Yes.
Now, Madam Speaker,
yes.
I am Constance Mbulanzioki, nominated by Mandelo Chap. Madam Speaker, it is, I think, what the officer is doing to this house is wrong, is disrespectful, is uncalled for, and is uncouth. Yes. Madam Speaker, we gave this officer a job, and now he has abused it. He passed through this house, and this is not his first time, Madam Speaker. He has done it many times. And I want to tell the House, by sending a letter here saying he's sick, I am sick myself. Honorable Speaker, if I cough now, this House will stop. Yes. Yes. I will try to hold it. And Madam Speaker, you are aware of this. I think we crossed some road somewhere and you heard me cough.
Yeah, sure.
I normally see my
I'm
physician.
sorry about that. Yeah.
And I was ready to see him today with an appointment, but because of this, I said I will hold it to myself until I go there. Thank you. Thank you, members. Let me say, if the officer wants to know how people fake sickness and fake documents, can he come to me? I have worked in many institutions, You know, you start young, you grow, you come up. But this is not the way to fake. We saw him all over. Did he get sick last night, overnight? Did he receive this information last night so that he keeps us here for an hour, a whole hour? I have gone to the toilet twice to cough. And that is because I was waiting for him. Now, he needs to tell us exactly what's happening. We are not children here. We are not.
We are not.
I can't just step here and say, I want to urinate here. No. We know where to go when it comes. But can he be called here? Can he be told we are people who matter? At least for now, we matter in this county. There are no other Waheshimiwas outside there. And if he does not want to listen to what Waheshimiwas are saying, then Kuyu must go. Not even to resign. That would be the theme. Honorable Speaker, we know we have doctors and we have quacks. If we went to a doctor, a good doctor, that letter needs to be here for every Mheshimiwa to see. We don't want to see letters from an office saying somebody is sick. No. Can we see the letter that came from the hospital? Yes, and the doctor he saw. I'm so sorry. Sickness is part of nature. But when God gives you what you ask for, I asked him to heal me, and now he's healing me. At least I can speak for those minutes. But when I start, I'm telling you, you'll walk out. So, Honorable Speaker, let us do what is supposed to be done. Let the officer know we wasted our time here waiting for him. And I think many of us had other things to do. For the elected ones, I am so sorry for you. Because I know the hostility on the ground. You are sweating when you appear to the people. You sweat. And you want that person to tell us, okay, all is well, all is well. Madam Speaker, forget about us here. We have to small biasharas somewhere. What about our staff? People pay rent. People are still giving birth. You hear some of them are still in maternity, waiting to be paid to come out. Does he think? Does Mr. Kuyu think about other people? Yes, he should be taught how to think about other people. And I want to know, is he the only one in that office, Madam Speaker? Is he the only one? We know if you're not there, there will be somebody else to talk to us. We know if the clerk is not there, there will be somebody else to talk to us. But you cannot hold Machakos into this kind of a thing. This situation is bad. Honorable Speaker, things are bad. In homes, women are wondering, wives are wondering, do you have another wife somewhere? Where is the salary? You know? So, this is critical. And if he does not appear as you are asking, he may not appear forever. Let him stay there or find another job. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mbula. Yes, Honorable Ndi. Yes, proceed. Then
Thank you.
Honorable John. Then Honorable PK.
Asante,
Yes.
Madam Speaker.
It was Mheshimiwa Brian, yes.
Mimi ni mwakilishi wa wanyonge, lakini nataka kuconfirm Kuyu sio mmoja wa wale na wakilisha wanyonge. Hiyo ni jambazi sugu. Nataka kusema hivi. Tumetoka mbali, Madam Speaker. Na tuendako si karibu pia. Na tukienda namna hii itakuwa mbaya sana kwako na kwetu. Lazima sisi tujiokoe ama tuishe kabisa. Kuyu, Mheshimiwa Kuyu, sijui ni mheshimiwa ama nini, lakini akona tactics ambazo wametumia tangu tumuandike hapa kwa hii bunge. Ya kupigia waheshimiwa 5 wa 10, anawapatia, anawapromise kitu fulani. Anawaambia huko kuna watu wananisumbua, wanakuja hapo wananyamaza, na tumeendelea kwenda chini. Tuko karibu kudiscover oil huko chini. tuko mbali sana. Hata kwa Mungu ni laana. Hiyo mambo yote ambayo inafanyika county. Kama kuna mtu yeyote kwa hii county ako na shida na governor, sio governor, ni Kuyu. Na mimi ningeambia governor ile angefanya awachilie hiyo tumbili tuonane nayo. Aweke chini na hatutamwandikia mtu mwingine, yeye mwenyewe atatupatia mwingine tukuje tuandike. Mtu ambaye atainua jina yake na atainua jina ya county. Lakini kama Kuyu ako huko, governor, watu wake, hata sisi sote tunaishi. Wale wametumwa iwe mara ya mwisho kutumwa, kwa sababu dunia imebadilika. This is a new dawn. Nimeona Mheshimiwa Kavyu ambaye huwa aongei sana mambo ya pande hiyo, vile ameongea nimejua msemo wa Kikamba kimeumana, kwa sababu kila mtu anajua ground ni mbaya. Speaker, ground yako hapa, kwa sababu usimtetee speaker. Simama hapo utuongoze, tumalizane na yeye. Kwa sababu Kuyu hata wewe anakudharau. Angekuwa akudharau, akiitwa kwa komiti angekuwa mtu wa kwanza kufika. So mimi nataka kusema hivi, tusiende mbali. Ile censure motion Mheshimiwa Mheshimiwa Mudhani amesema tuadijani kidogo na dakika 10 iandikwe tulete hapa tumalizane na hii maneno. Kuyu lazima aende nyumbani. Yeye anasema ni mtu mmoja ananichukia, ni watu wawili wananichukia, hata Mungu anamchukia. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka kumaliza. Kuyu, kwaheri. Kwaheri Kuyu. Tuonane tena. Tulikupenda sana, lakini Mungu amekupenda zaidi. Asante.
Thank you, Honorable D. Honorable Johanna. Johanna. Let me.
PK was to be the last.
Order members. I had said Mheshimiwa Johanna, then Mheshimiwa PK, Mheshimiwa Brian.
All of us will speak.
No, what I had picked that first bunch in that manner. Yes, that's how I picked it. Yeah. I'm going to give everybody who wants to speak to say something.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes.
One meeting, members. A member is on the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Honorable members, there's a member on the floor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Before I give my contribution, Madam Chair, I am scared that if Honorable Constance was to cough, everything would stop, and yet is not in a face mask. That is very dangerous. You would allow her time maybe to go and dress properly. Madam Chair.
Sorry, Honorable Speaker, may I be allowed to go to the doctor? It is dangerous. Let me go. Thank you.
It's okay, you can go and see a doctor. Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I'll only say two things. Madam Chair, I'll only say two things.
Yes, proceed.
And we have invited CECM finance severally, even in other committees, because sometimes we interrogate other chief officers, other CECMs, and their hands seem to be tied because everything rotates around finances, and they are unable to commit themselves because somebody else is not facilitating them to do their work. Madam Speaker, I don't know whether we really need even to convene to interrogate CECM. We have all the answers why we have the underperformance, why the involvement of several departments in the revenue collection, missing pages in reports. We have now all the answers that, Madam Chair, we are dealing with a sick person. So I don't know what we expect from that person other than just give him lighter duties or maybe dismiss him to go and... So we cannot crucify him for speaking the truth, Madam Chair. The other thing is that I am shocked that he is able to calculate the days within which he feels he might be okay. That is up to next Monday. And Madam Chair, for your information, we have also gazetted another exercise which is supposed to take place on that Monday 10th. I don't know. Yes. I think on 10, that is when we are doing interviews for the 4th and 5th member, and we wish also to be part of that exercise. So, Madam Chair, I think, although I have just said we don't need to waste time. If Kuyu is sick, he is sick. He cannot just continue with us, so we will just convene to make it procedural that we lay him off to go and get proper medication. When he's okay, then maybe he can reapply and then we consider it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Joanna. Honorable PK.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Our able chair. I would like first of all to appreciate the Committee on Finance and also the Budget Committee and other committees which have also in one way or the other ventilated on this matter. Were it not for the competence of the chairperson of those committees, we could not be here. Madam Chair, it is said that he who needs or seeks equity must come with clean hands. In this sense, the one Mr. Kuyu, whom we are talking about, I've been sitting at the budget committee, and not once or twice we have invited him to the committee, and he has never appeared to that committee. These are a replica of what has been happening to those committees. We can talk until the cows come home, talking about the one Mr. Kuyu. And I also want to be drawn to the attention of that purported letter that was shared to you. First of all, we want to ask ourselves, when was that letter dated? Because yesterday was on a Sunday, and today is on a Monday. And that letter has been served to you for us to admit. Madam Speaker, we have some letters which cannot be admitted as an evidence that that person is sick, when the circumstantial evidence is telling us that person was just loitering around and doing his own things. Madam Speaker, we want to see that person is still around. And for the prosperity of our county, for the ECD classes to be constructed at our wards, for the salaries of our ECD teachers to be improved, for the hospitals to function and those workers be paid, the one Mr. Kuyu must go. The one Mr. Kuyu must go. Because, Madam Speaker, that person was given the right to fair trial, was given the right to be heard when we had invited him to this place. But he just chose to say, those are just two MCAs. I cannot appear to them. I want to remind them that we are the creators. We created them. And the creature cannot swallow the creator. That one cannot happen. The creature cannot swallow the creator. Madam Speaker, we sit with you in the appointment committees. And I have honorable members who sit in appointment committee. Our majority leader sits there, our minority leader sits there. And Madam Speaker, you can remember, there was a time we were doing vetting, and there was an honorable CCM who came to this house with a wheelchair. He came to this house with a wheelchair because he was looking to seek for a job. But now this one says that I cannot come. Madam Speaker, let it be known that the disrespect they have been having to other departments, they cannot treat our house as the law house, as Mheshimiwa said. You were given the directions, and then they chose deliberately to go against those directions. I want to say the one Mr. Kuyu must go. Madam Speaker, the matters we are discussing here, they are very important. Aware that the former regime, for 10 years, when we came to this house, we had inherited pending bills of 2 billion. Only 2 billion for the 10 years. But Madam Speaker, from 2022 up to date, we have a pending bill of 3 billion. Now we have a pending bill of 3.4 billion. So that now if we add the former regime 2.2 billion plus 3.3 billion, it becomes 5.3 billion. Madam Speaker, I want to ask, where are we heading? If a former regime can accrue pending bills of 2 billion and has, within that short period, we have 3 billion. Madam Speaker, we must be very alive to that fact. Yeah. Madam Speaker, the one Mr. Kuyu is aware that we are talking about fake system, fake automated machines, which he said that he procured with 100 million. Madam Speaker, the one Mr. Kuyu is not capable to hold that office. Because one thing, the issue of wage bill. Madam Speaker, as we speak, from the auditor's report, from the committee report on budget, finance, the pending bill, not the pending bill, the wage bill is almost eating at 50%, when the law tells us that the wage bill should be at 5%. Madam Speaker, where are we heading as a county? Where are we heading as a government? Because much will be used in the recurrent to pay people who are being employed for political reasons. When we have the clinical officers who came to this assembly crying that they have never been employed, but we have people who have been employed for political reasons. Madam Speaker, we must wake up to that point and then ensure that we move all these things. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Brian Kisila, Honorable Dalana, Honorable Katiti, Honorable Molinge, Honorable Ndena, and Honorable Annabelle, Honorable Douglas, in that order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The mood of the House, you can see it. And you can see we are full house on a Monday. First and foremost, Madam Speaker, I want to thank you for resolving to summon the CEC Finance to this assembly today. That is a very bold step. And I also want to thank the Chairman Finance and his committee for seeing it fit to bring the CCM here. Madam Speaker, first of all, I want to disagree with your communication. Before you, as a chair, because today you are a chair, before you make a ruling, you should have listened to us. But it seems like you have written a letter, and it seems like it's not your handwriting. You have written and said, this CCM should come on Monday if he is okay. That is not your handwriting. Madam Speaker, I want to guide you and tell you that you should not be scared by anyone. From today henceforth, Madam Speaker, please understand you have men and women in this assembly who will stand by you through hook and crook, and no one should ever scare you. So when you are making decisions, Madam Speaker, be very bold. And know, moving forward, things are not going to be business as usual in this assembly. I vowed this year, and I talked to my father in church, I talked to my priests, that God gives me wisdom to ensure that I execute what I'm supposed to do as an MCA. Madam Speaker, even if I'm going to remain alone in this assembly, I will make sure that I say what is true and what is supposed to be done. In the last 2 years, we have been very good. We have been very good. We have actually, and we were giving our excellent governor a chance. And that's the right thing to do. We are giving her a chance to see if she's going to deliver what she promises us. I had not met Governor Wavinya before I began the assembly. But when I met her at the Hilton Hotel, she promised that we are going to work together and we are going to ensure the people of Machakos go very far. And I believed, because personally, when I decided to go this direction, I go that direction. I believed in her. And I gave her the chance, benefit of doubt, first year. I gave her benefit of doubt, second year. Madam Speaker, this third year, which is very crucial for all of us, including ourselves, we will do our work and let that go on record. And let everybody in the executive understand that we are going to do what we are supposed to do, to the letter, and without mincing any words. So that is a clear message on the floor of the House. And I will not be swayed by anyone. Let anybody who thinks little things can be able to sway me, I will not be swayed. I will come to this floor, I will say things as they are, and because I sleep in Moala every day, I know how ground is in Moala, and I'm going to take the gospel of this assembly down to the ground and say things the way they are supposed to do. Because let me tell you, we are being crucified as MCAs. Mwananchi anasema ni sisi hatufanyi kazi. Yes. And the constitution is very unfair to the MCA. Because mwananchi on the ground doesn't actually understand what is the role of an MCA and what is the role of the governor. Barabara haijakatwa MCA. Maji imeharibika Wamunyu for the last 6 months. Boy, ya Wamunyu wa soko haifanyi kazi. I am in a WhatsApp forum where my colleague Kasanga is being pushed left, right, and center. And people of Wamunyu think Kasanga is not the one who is working. Honorable Kasanga. While in essence, it is the governor who is not working. So we are going to go to the ground and tell people that actually, na nitaenda Wamunyu, I'll go to, as the chairman of Mwala, nitaenda Wamunyu, niseme hii ni kazi ya governor afanye kazi. Kazi yetu ni ku-approve budget. Honorable members, in the last 2 years, have we changed anything or any budget for the governor? No. Have we given access to the governor all what she needed? Yes. Are we, majority leader, and minority, you have actually convinced us. Munakuja munatuambia tafadhali tupitishe hii budget. Tunapitisha even without a comma. Tunapatiwa ma CCM to approve in appointment committee. Tunapitisha hata bila kuangalia because we believed in our excellent governor. What has happened? It is something very painful to us. And because I'm not going to carry anybody's cross, I am not going to carry anybody's cross. I'm going to take the stand of going to the ground and tell my people what is the truth. And the truth is, the executive is not working. Coming and the ground is very hostile. Kuna watu wengine hapa wanadanganya governor na wanadanganya CCMs. The ground as it is today, and when we met our excellent governor, we told her, without missing any word, we told her the ground is very hostile. But since we've been elected as leaders, we will not allow our people to suffer anymore. It is the high time the governor does what she's supposed to do with our executive so that our people can benefit. Moving on to today's motion, today's sitting. Madam Speaker, it is unfortunate that the Committee on Finance has been summoning the CCM and he has not been attending. Now, I went to powers and county assembly powers and privileges. And the powers are very clear on what we are supposed to do. no public officer shall refuse to appear or produce any evidence to the county assembly or committee as it is. Any county public officer who contravenes subsection 1 commits an offense. Where a county assembly passes a resolution that a county public officer has contravened subsection 1, the resolution of the county assembly shall constitute a ground for removal from office of the county public officer in accordance with the constitution or any applicable law. The laws are there. And we are going to follow the law to the letter. Unless those, maybe there is 1 or 2 people here who might be thinking that we are joking. The mood of this house is very different. And as the minority side, my leader is here. Minority leader is here. Our work is to streamline and ensure we make sure that the executive does their work. Minority leader, I want you to, when you stand to talk, to confirm that we are going to do what is right. And because that's why we elected you. And we will back you up, we will stand with you. Because we have stood with you. Tutasimama na wewe kidete. Kuhakikisha kwamba rasilimali ya Machakos imetumiwa vizuri na wananchi wa Machakos wamepata haki yao. So anybody who thinks he has a small iota of doubt of what we can be able to do, let them watch this space moving forward. Madam Speaker, my last point is, I think you should not have made that ruling without consulting us. But because you are our chair, you need to reconsider that ruling. We cannot wait until Monday. If I tell you, I'm just come from Machakos, Mala level 4. Contracted workers have not been paid. Casual workers who sweep, who clean when my women on the ground give birth, have not been paid for the last 4 months. I made some noise, they were paid for 3 months. The hospital itself has got no money. We work tirelessly as a health committee. We passed the FIF Act. Money is available, but we are not seeing those hospitals working. So, Madam Speaker, as it is, things on the ground are different. We met Her Excellency the Governor, together with our leadership. She committed in front of us that we have got fuel cards worth 1.2 million shillings. And you know what? It's the same information Her Excellency the Governor said it in public. Sasa mimi barabara sijakata, wanafikiri mimi, na wakasema ametupatia pesa sisi. Nimepatia MCA 1.2 million. Nikienda kwa ground naulizwa, wewe mheshimiwa, hii 1.2 million nimekula iko wapi? Na mimi sasa nimekula pesa wapi? Barabara hakuna mafuta, mashini zote zimeharibika. Where are we heading to? We have 2 years, 5 months, and 4 days remaining. Honorable members, time is up. Even for special elect, time is up. Inategemea ni wangapi watarudi ndio murudi.
It is our desire that everyone who passes here really understand their duty and works towards improving everything, Madam Chair. There is a feeling some officers at very high level of government are not really trying to help the Governor, Her Excellency, to achieve her manifesto and dream. So this is not a personalized fight. This is not a fight against any individual. This is actually an oversight role against an office that is not working to the standard that we expect. This is despite, as an assembly, trying to enhance the role of every CECM by providing, opportunity for them to appear before committees, to appear before, the House, to give us information so that we enhance their role. Honorable members, this is a house of procedure. This is a house of procedure, Chair. I wish so that we not seem to look like we are fighting an individual. We allow this procedure to mature legally, because this procedure is a legal procedure and it can mature legally without being seen like we are attacking anyone. Madam Speaker, on the other hand, no one would wish any other person sick or dead. I wouldn't wish myself or someone else sickness. And if the CECM saw a doctor, and I do not know whether anyone here has a schedule for his or her own sickness. Sickness can appear any time. Even while we are seated here, Mheshimiwa Mbula just said that he's not feeling well, she's not feeling well, and she requested. Anyone of us can fall sick any time. My personal conviction is the minister cannot wish himself illness. My personal conviction, and everyone is going to have an opportunity to speak. I think everybody is going to have an opportunity to speak. I have said my personal conviction is the minister cannot wish himself illness. And Chair, I do not, I happen to know you as a lawyer. I am a public policy analyst. That if indeed these members feel that the minister wished himself illness, there's a way of verifying whether he visited a doctor, because you can direct the clerk to write a letter. But in many cases, you'd find there's what is called patient-doctor confidentiality. But it is our duty to either seek that information or not. And the 3 days that have been offered are going to lapse. And we can move to any other procedure as required by law. As required by law, to summon the minister for him to come and explain any matter that could be before this house. So let us not be seen as we play our oversight role. We are keen on a personality or on an individual. Let us treat that office as a creation of the law, and it is not the person we are killing, or, we are asking for the office to be enhanced by this assembly through oversight to deliver on the people. Lastly, Madam Speaker, I hear the mood of the members, and especially the elected members, because most of the time, the role of the MCA has been misconstrued as the person who is on the ground to do the function. Of course, we have a role, because the people elected me so that I speak on their behalf. So if they send me that they want a road, I will come here and speak that they want a road. But how that road arrives on the ground is the role of the executive. My role is to keep reminding them that there is a road that you promised, but you have not done it. Woe unto all elected MCAs, because if the road is not developed, they do not blame the minister. They do not blame the chief officer. They blame the MCA. Lastly, Madam Speaker, I think we need an induction course for the branch of executive, because they have assigned themselves powers that they do not have. And especially the CECM. I speak as a majority leader, and sometimes I don't like assigning my role, that I'm the majority leader or sijui nini. But you go to a meeting where you have been invited by, for example, Her Excellency the Governor. And the seating arrangement and the protocols are all disturbed by CECM, and simply because Madam Speaker maybe is not in that meeting, majority leader anawekwa futi 10, minority leader anawekwa futi 10, or even second line. What we are also saying is, can they be taught about government protocols. Because we employ people and overnight they become gods. So what we are urging is, this is a vehicle. Mheshimiwa Minority Leader, while you are speaking, thank you, colleague leader. Chair, protect me. So what we want is to have a fair and good working relationship between honorable members and the executive, so that we deliver on what we promise. Mheshimiwa Kisila, through the chair, it is not late. It is not late. The 2 years, the 5 months, the 4 days, it is not late if we choose, deliberately choose to work together. Madam Chair.
Okay, granted.
Let me correct my majority leader, who I have a lot of respect for. From the day we came to this assembly, we chose to work together. And let me tell you, we supported our Excellency the Governor through thick and thin. All the budgets we passed. Did we change any budget? No. Did we even send any of our nominees home? No. We gave her the benefit of the doubt. So we've been working together, majority. The issue now is, I think our working together has been taken for granted. They think that we cannot do anything as by what you have said. And they think we don't know our rights. And also they think we don't know our role. Moving forward, from today, it has started. We will make sure, from our Excellency the Governor to the Chief Officer, they know our role. And they respect us. Let them do their work. We do our work. If it comes to a matters of somebody who is inefficient, who is not performing, for example, I expect the next summons to be the CCM Lands and Energy. He needs to come here and tell us why our account is dark. Minister for Education, everybody, they all need to come here and tell us why we are not working, why things are not working. Even water itself, why our boreholes have collapsed. You were there. In fact, I'm very happy, Majority Leader. You came to our water committee, and I could see the pain in you in what is happening to water. We need to call the CCM health here. Why are we giving budgets, big budgets to health department, and there is no medicine in the hospitals? The motivation levels are low, and the hospitals are being shut.
The point is home.
Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Majority, proceed.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Through the chair, Mheshimiwa Kisila, what I meant is, I think our position has not changed as an assembly. I think what has changed is some CCM thinking that we should just let them do whatever they want. But for the records, we continue to support Her Excellency the Governor. Unwavering. We continue.
Thank you.
Perhaps.
Allow the member to.
Perhaps.
Honorable Brian.
And that is why I said.
Honorable
Chair.
Kaviu, I gave you an opportunity to speak. Let the honorable member speak without interruptions.
Mheshimiwa Leader of Minority said, for us to have a meaningful resolution, let us cool down. Let us be sober. Sure. What I'm saying is that even the majority side, you will agree with me that we will support the executive, but we will not support the executive to do the wrong thing. We will not support the executive to do the wrong thing. That is what we are saying. And we are also asking for the support of the minority to support the government to do the right thing. And when bad things are done, we want to be sober enough to call them out. To call them out in a sober way, so that we have decisions and resolutions from this house that can enhance their work and not to look like we are punishing. Madam Speaker, I submit and I agree that we, the CECM, following due process, be invited to come and give any information that is required. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Katiti and Honorable Kito. Honorable Molinga. Sorry.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
I've not forgotten about you members. So I'll still give you an opportunity. Honorable
Yes.
Molinga, Honorable Kituku, Honorable, in that order. Later.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, for giving me this opportunity. Our today's agenda was so much objective. It's not about political, because we have a problem that everybody in this county has realized, and is realized that we have a problem, and we have solutions for the questions that we as an assembly we must have a solution, because the whole county relies on us. If we fail today to save our account, then it will go down to ashes, or we just throw it to the Machakos, because the way things are, it's not good. Today we are able to meet, some of us are able to meet the clinical officers, and their cries, nobody was willing to listen because they are suffering so much. Imagine the statistics tell us that in every 10 people, we have one who is HIV positive. Like now, give an example here. If we are 60 here, 10 among us are HIV positive. And yet, they cannot go and... God
forbid.
Listen.
Point of order. Point of order.
Honorable Speaker.
Listen.
Point of order.
Listen, my point.
Madam Speaker, point of order.
Listen, please.
Madam Speaker,
Protect me,
point of
Madam
order.
Speaker.
Allow the member to...
Please, point of order. Madam Speaker.
I was only giving an example.
Yeah, Madam.
Proceed, Honorable Member.
Those are the statistics that we have in Kenya, not here, even in Machakos. Imagine somebody who should take care of you has not been confirmed, has been employed in terms of permanence and pensionable terms for 14 years. So let us address that issue when it comes to us. The other thing, I'm a prayerful person. Someday, last week, I was fasting, I was praying and fasting. Meaning in my fasting, the oracle of the mountain told me stop, because there's a lot of pretense in this house. In this house, and I repeat, in this house. Because most of the members, the majority of members, have taken that ubiquitous position of loyalty, which is leaving this count not a blessing, but a curse. Because we cannot stand up for the people who elected us. Our hospitals have no drugs. Those are the people who are crying today. They have not been employed, confirmed as permanent and pensionable terms for the last 14 years. And they have been serving this country with loyalty. So I came here to say, if that lies with the CCM finance, because I sit in the committee of finance, I know the journey that we have worked together. All the invitations that have come have been sent to him, and in his own choice, he has failed to honor them. That decision of coming to this committee of the whole house, it was not a decision that was meant in one day or 1 year. It has been there. It's a decision that we meant because we are exhausted, and we know that this county must move forward regardless what. Whether the CCM finance is the CCM finance today or not tomorrow. Because that is an institution, it must be respected, it must be held by somebody who is competent, who enough, who can deliver to the people of Machakos, and don't want those kind of nonsense. that every time tunaambiwa kila siku. We don't need them. And if any censure motion will come to this assembly, then I'll be one to support that. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Kito, then Honorable Mulinge.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think the member that you are discussing about is an appointee by this House. And we elected members, the governor and also the elected members, we are the one who are answering the people on the ground. I think, Madam Speaker, you have seen the electorate coming or visiting us in our homes, especially the MCAs. It is not easy. I have faced that one, and it's very dangerous when people come at your place demanding what you have done. As you are talking, Madam Speaker, you have heard Honorable Kisila saying that the one Mr. Kuyu said that we have fuel of 1 point something. And as we are talking, the grading machine for Kadiani has been laying ground at Lower Kaiwa for almost 3 weeks without functioning because there is no fuel in that grading machine. And we are really facing difficulty. It is almost raining now. And the machine is there with our operator and other workers. They are being paid and they are not doing any work. Madam Speaker, we could not even attend the public participation. Why? Because people asking, last time you collected what we are supposed to do to you. Now why are you come back and you have done nothing? And it is a very hard question, Madam Speaker. So, you have seen the House, the entire House. The mood is that we have to act. And the majority leader said that the days are not many. It is now the right time now we start working. And the way we can work is firing one member. So that people can know that now we are serious as a House. We have to work so that the others can learn from that Minister Kuyu. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Mulinge, then Honorable Kituku, then Honorable Zora.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
We end it at Zora. Honorable Grace Bad, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the matter we are discussing, we had 2 consecutive discussion on this House. Last week on Tuesday and Wednesday. And we spent a lot of time discussing the same matter, reports coming from the same department, same officer. And one report from finance, the same data. On budget, the report is different. Madam Speaker, we are here. We are here because the person, the officer in the Department of Finance seems to be incompetent. And the reason why I'm saying incompetent, Madam Speaker, we are almost on the last quarter. We gave the budget for projects. But Madam Speaker, when we have time for members of various committees to go and visit projects for this year, we have nothing. And the period which is remaining before this financial ends, almost 4 months. Meaning that when this project will be unveiled, we will not have, the contractors will not have enough time to give this quality work. So, Madam Speaker, this officer is failing this county. Madam Speaker, the same officer has been using the simple arithmetics applied by grade 1, simple like body mass, to evade invitations This is not the first invitation. Committees, including the committee of DU and Hamban, we have called him several times. But all the time, the same arithmetic. I remember there is a time we were doing public participation with the governor, and the same officer cheated the governor, the electorate we are represented, even us. He said, Governor, the county is doing very good because the contractors, we had given them contracts, have been paid. Going to the book, the pending bill is going up. Maybe he's saying, the more we have pending bills increasing, the way we were relating when we were schooling the higher becomes good. Maybe that's how he's thinking. Madam Speaker, inviting the CCM and failing to honor the invitation, regardless of the methods is using, the same. Madam Speaker, the method is using. This is the same method was used by Hodi says. Hodi days. In our tradition, if you have a case in the court, because at that time education was kidoko, you could not use the style of getting a permission, getting a letter from the doctor. You will visit which doctor? Which doctor to pray for you? So that when either you attend the court case, you attend the interview, you are cleansed. Having been said, the same officer, yesterday, pastors prayed for him. And again, he was with Wamunoro, doing a lot of praises. And we cannot testify. We have seen some in Facebook, the minister contributing. But an interval of less than 6 hours, this minister cannot honor the invitation of this assembly. This is a joke. And if, Madam Speaker, we will continue allowing people to use simple arithmetics to make sure the assembly is not performing. Madam Speaker, we should not allow that. Madam Speaker, in the morning, very early in the morning, I was called with one of the guys of the media, that is Musi FM. And he told me, Mheshimiwa Mulinke, I heard somebody kwa hiyo station ya Musi FM waking up the leaders as called, and he has said he comes from a certain place, but he need to wake up me, Mheshimiwa Mulinke, because the nearby Mulikamwisi is not functioning. Well, I was not happy because of that. Again, somewhere I went to Akinosi and I met another two guys. And I listened to them very well, crucifying one of the honorable member who is here. And this is how they were saying, if election were conducted today, that person will be number 4. Then I listened to their grievances. One of the points was, he has gone, that guy, his major role is eating money with the executive. Instead, the assumption of those guys was the honorable member is being given money and dining with the executive. Then we had to explain to them, it is not him, because one of their lamentations was there are roads in the area. It's bad condition. Bad condition. So, Madam Speaker, the matter we are handling here is a matter that we discussed in this house, and we found a lot of abnormalities, and the minister applying his kangaroo ways of eventing these sermons does not have the love of this county. So, after now, Madam Speaker, engaging the mood of these members, please save the county by giving this house the right direction. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Kituku. Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Mary Kituku, nominated to this House by UDA. I'd first like to give and offer my condolences to Honorable Julius Ndawa for losing your relatives. Poleseni sana kwa familia. Second, I'd like to thank Honorable Constance Bula in her absentia for showing us or reminding us the oath that we took. In sickness and in health, we should be able to represent the people of Machakos. Madam Speaker, as Honorable Wakili, as I call him, BK was talking, he made me recollect myself as a young girl, and I remembered that most of the times we didn't like doing our homework. And when Monday came, we had this narrative of the dog ate my homework, which I believe is a case that has happened to this house. Now, unfortunately, whether I had a dog or it didn't eat my homework, I didn't do it, there were repercussions. Lazima viboko zingetembea. And unfortunately, viboko zitatembea. Kweli ama si kweli? No. I want to believe that this house is a very friendly place. And because of that, in the morning we had a presser with the medics of our county because they felt it is a house of peace and a house of rules. They came to bring their petition. I want to tell Waziri Koyo that this house will listen to him if only he avails himself. The interrogation is not an exam. It is just a dialogue to talk about the pertinent issues that are affecting our county. And I want to thank the speakers who spoke before me for making sure that we do not get wavered by emotions running across, back and forth, and making us lose focus in what was bringing us here. I'd also want to echo what Honorable Bilindawa has talked about and Honorable Kisila, in that we need to work as a county. We need to work because when we came to the assembly, we promised each other to leave politics aside and to work pro parties. Saa ingine inakuwa ngumu sana kuwatetea kama marafiki zenu. Inakuwa ngumu sana. We can't always be holding to things that and upholding to things that we don't. Hatuwezi sema zilianza wapi na zikaisha wapi. And that is one of the reasons why, as friends to the majority leader here, majority leadership of Wiper here, saa zingine tunapata, we really want to support you. We see what you're doing. We see what Her Excellency the Governor is doing. Lakini there are part of the executive. Wanafanya ikazi inakuwa ngumu. We cannot go there and say this and this and this was executed and it was not. I personally took an oath and I uphold myself to it. Okay. Lastly, we have talked about lights in Machakos. It is an issue because our students at the university have been complaining a lot. There have been so many muggings, but we know the finance department is the heartbeat of all the departments. We really need you, Honorable Waziri Koyo, to uphold the Bible that you took, to serve the people. We represent you in this house. You are part of Machakos County. Na tukikuja hapa bunge, we deliberate on matters that touch you personally or your family and the whole of Machakos. So for that, we wish you a quick recovery. for whatever you're ailing from. We want to see you here in the house because we know the questions that you are asking, you have the answers to them. And we know you can work on them. We have not said that wewe ni mbaya kabisa, but whatever it is that is bringing friction between us and the executive, you can finish it by coming to this house and defending yourself. Lastly and not the least, still about the lights, we can benchmark with Honorable Kawaya, who is the National Organizing Secretary. As a part of UDA and part of Mwala, I believe we have showed the whole country how we can secure our markets by making them lit. Uko usiku ni kama mchana. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Kichuku. Honorable Grace Bahati.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
We want to hand it at Honorable Grace Bahati.
Okay.
Honorable. Chair, yeah, maybe I can consider Chair Finance. It has taken a while.
Okay.
Proceed, Honorable Grace.
My name is Grace Bahati, MCA Cheleni Ward. And today in the morning I was so excited because I really was looking forward to get some answers from our Minister of Finance. And one of the things that we need to understand as the elected members, as every member here said, the ground is hostile, extremely hostile. It's even hostile to our governor. And that's the matters, and just that, it is what it is. And one of the things that I've been very frustrated, been having my tractor in Cheleni Ward. This is the third week, seated there at the market. The roads are so poorly, first those who are done were poorly done. The second thing is just our roads in Cheleni are so bad. And because of that, I've been making calls. God knows how many calls I make. Every time I call, we've done the requisitions they're on the finance table. And that's why we needed our finance minister to come and tell us, could this table be having a shredder that makes the requisitions disappear for the fuel? Once they go on the public participations, they tell our people there is 1.2 million of fuel. When the tractors are seated there, what the people see, they see the money was given, it's us, the MCAs, who ate the money. So it's us who are being blamed. So it's the blame game, and they are very good at it. And let it be known, there comes a times, honorable members, when silence is betrayal to the people who elected us. And we must speak for our people, on behalf of our people. I was elected by the people of Cheleni as an independent candidate. There were other people who had more money, more potential, but they believed in me to come here and stand on their behalf. And that's what we are doing, our members. Kindly, we need to know the blame game between the chief officers and the other ministers. You ask for the lights, oh, we've already done the requisitions, it's on the table. The finance person. Every time it's Koyuko, it has reached a point where I remember a song that we used to sing in school. Nilipeleka barua kwa baba, ikapotelea njiani. Now I do not know, tulipeleka requisition kwa Koyo, ikapotelea njiani. I do not know. That's where we have reached. And we must speak on behalf of our people. Nobody is safe. Even them as the waziris. Probably they'll go and look for another job. Some of us who are already elected, we can never seek for any job in any institution. This is what we have, and we must defend our people. So what we are asking is this. May he come here. We need to know who is the blame game between them. Is this the ministers? Is it the other CEOs? Is it Kuyu? So that we save the face of our county. It is not good. It is not good. Let nobody lie. Once we do these public participations, the people on the ground, they are left saying, Ekama Diasu, Tomeanuketi on the 2027. That's what people are saying. Let nobody lie. Not nobody lie, Madam Speaker. And if they think it is safe, even for our governor, because they actually, if these ministers, all of them, if they are not working, Can we actually summon all of them here, honorable members? Yes. Can we summon them? Because now the games are becoming too much. We are not doing a table tennis here. If you wanted the games, trust you me, some of us who are really good in high school would have already been winning gold medals outside there. So they need to come here and answer to us. We have classrooms that have never been completed. I have one in Cheleni. Boreholes are not functioning. Every time you ask, we've done the requisition, ask Kuyu. So, Mr. Kuyu, wherever you are, the ball is in your court. It's for you to come here, answer to us, so that we get to know who is not working. And by the way, by the time I go home, I'll make sure I'll go with one waziri right now. And that's just the reality. Because, by the members, let me tell you, we are at a very risk. When I go to the ground, me and Mheshimiwa Evelyn, we are the 2 female MCAs elected, and now our governor. There is nothing as humiliating and embarrassing when you hear Akama Iyo Tongoi. And we are categorized there. We are called Machakos girls, we are useless. That's what people are saying. Let's call the spade a spade. Yes, that's what we are being called. I'm sorry, our honorable members. That's what. So when these ministers are failing and the CEOs are failing, they are failing the elected people who were elected. From the governor to the senator to the women rep, and even us as members of our county assembly. That's what they are doing. Actually, they are sacrificing us for their own just failure to work. That's what, as members, we just need to make sure we call Wakoyu here, and Monday is too far. Monday is too far. As we speak right now, Madam Speaker, if it rains in Cheleni, the people of Cheleni have decided, and I will not stop any maandamano. I will not stop. I will actually join them. Let it be known right now. Yeah. When the people of Cheleni, they'll be doing maandamano za barabara, I'll be there demonstrating with them. I will, honestly, members, I'll do that. My people in Cheleni are tired. They are tired. And they just need to see work being done. So kindly, we need to know where our finances are coming from. And also, Madam Speaker, don't forget, Cheleni ward is one of the wards that we collect the most resources out of this county. All the quarries that are in Cheleni. So the people are asking, we collect those revenue. Where does the revenue go? And it's a valid question they are asking. Where does that revenue go? Why are their roads being poorly done or not even done? So kindly, Madam Speaker, that letter, tell whatever the decision will be, we need Kuyu before Monday. Thank you. That's what we are requesting. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Sorry? Okay, 1 minute.
Madam Speaker, I want honorable members to listen to me. Just one minute.
Allow you.
I want to make this application, Madam Speaker. This house is an house of order. This house must, and there's no question about it, be respected. In our standing orders, there's what we call the statement of facts. You have read us a letter. Madam Speaker, I'm making this application that you order the legal department. The legal department proceeds with immediate effect to get authentication of the said letter from the said institution, such that in the event it is not substantiated, we hold that institution accountable. The second and last application, Madam Speaker, I strongly believe the officer who has said that he visited an hospital, there is a way we can confirm that at that very hour or minute that he went to the hospital, he was within a certain radius by invoking the instruction or the guidance by the DCI. They can get the coordinates of the phone number of that officer, as at the time the letter was written, where was he within, including the coordinates for the doctor who wrote that letter, Madam Speaker. We cannot treat this house with rumors. So, Madam Speaker, I make those applications that you order the legal department to write a letter, even if it means to go to court under certificate of urgency, and make an application that the DCI orders will be given the actual coordinates as at the time that officer went to Mata Hospital, where the doctor was and where the patient was. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I'll make a ruling about your application, Honorable Member, at the end.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, honorable members. Allow me to say this. Honesty is a virtue that pleases God, and that it should be practiced with love and humility. Allow me to say also the same virtue pleases God and is essential for trust in a community. Honorable Speaker, for matters of clarity, the invitation of the CCM to appear in this House should not be construed to a single member. It was a decision of the whole House. Honorable Speaker, we should always adopt, as an honorable House, the procedures that are set for us to operate in this House. I believe that the Honorable Waziri should appear in this House in person. I want to put it in record that there is no personal vendetta to the said Waziri. We are doing our job, and we are only questioning things that are taking place and operational in that said office. The source of information that the Finance Committee worked on and the Budget Committee, the source is the Department of Finance and Revenue Collection. Honorable members and Honorable Speaker, I want also to put on notice those other executive officers, the chief officers, the CCMs who think they can ride on requisitions while they are seated comfortably in their offices. Honorable members, why am I saying this? There are people who are lazy and they can only work when they are pushed. And they will always say, we did requisitions and they were not responded to. We put them on notice. It is high time that we serve our people of Machakos with diligence and commitment. And if there is any officer who feels that is tired, please, you can just leave. Our Honorable Excellency Governor will appoint another member, competent, and we will vet him or her in this House and have the job done. It is high time honorable members are respected. We are not to MCA. Honorable members, I want to put it on notice. Let us be very clear. Respect is earned, not demanded. Honorable Speaker, this assembly has the mandate to oversight the executive. We are doing it without malice. We are doing it so that we can assist Her Excellency to deliver to our manifesto. And nobody will come and start thinking that he can play or she can play games with honorable members. Enough is enough. We have nearly 2.5 years to the next election. It is not over. We can still make Machakos great again if we have the competent people in offices that who can help our governor to serve our people. So it is important that everybody carries this cross. Yes, we gave you a job. The governor appointed you.
We vetted you and approved you. Fanya kazi yako. Honorable members, I look forward to a united assembly. I look forward to a dedicated assembly that will ensure that service is rendered to our people of Machakos. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Commissioner.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I know it has taken a lot of time on this matter, but Madam Speaker, I think it's a matter of great importance. Madam Speaker, I happen to have sat in the First Assembly, and I think the kind of committee that we are having today is a very serious committee. In our First Assembly for 5 years, we did not have a committee, general oversight committee sitting down. Now in this third assembly, we have a general oversight committee sitting down to discuss on our waziri. It must be noted that this is a very important and serious committee of the assembly. And I wish to echo the words of my majority leader, and he said that I think some induction is needed to our executive to know how important this house is, you know, and how they are supposed to interact, how they are supposed to respond to issues coming from this assembly. Madam Speaker, as we respect the forces of nature, one Waziri Kuyu might be sick, it is okay. But the dignity and the respect of this house must be upheld. So, Madam Speaker, I am proposing this because I keenly listened to your communication. And for the respect of this house to be upheld, it is only fair enough that if we have to give Mr. Kuyu an opportunity to be heard, it has to be on a specific date. Not that if he becomes well, if he feels well, as much as we want to work together, we must let this house be respected. Madam Speaker, you are senior counsel, and you know that this house is equal or equivalent to a high court. And there's no court in this country that will give an opportunity to any citizen to appear in court in such a time he or she feels it's okay to come. We must set a date when Mr. Kuyu must appear in this house. Madam Speaker, it can only be
information, and I know you will agree. Point of information.
Yes,
I know you will agree. Madam Speaker, I'm agreeing with what the Commissioner is saying. And I want to inform the House today, because our courts know that people fake sickness. They have denied one Waititu permission to go to hospital. So I'm agreeing with one Katange that we should treat this house as having the same powers as those of High Court. Thank you.
Point of information. Point of information.
Another point of information.
Yes, I also want to inform Mheshimiwa Mwanga, it is not permission to go to hospital. It is, he was applying to be granted bail, so that now he may determine the matter when he's outside. And also, Madam Speaker, we are very aware that there is no another tactic that the Waziri Kuyu could have said other than saying that I'm sick. Were we expecting him not to respond? No. There was something he could have just said, I'm sick, so I'm not come. What the court does is that for such cases, it is set a mention date or a hearing date. Madam Speaker, you are able.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think the House is well informed, and you know mine was very brief. So the honorable thing that Waziri Kuyu could have done today is only to appear to this committee. That would have been enough. But because we are a considerate House, we want to give him a fair hearing. We are proposing that we will give him a date. And the honorable thing he can do is just to appear to this house and answer concerns of this house, which are crucial and important to our county. So, Madam Speaker, with those few remarks, I still insist, however much we want to support the governor, we also must be respected as a house, because we respect the governor and the executive. That is it, we respect them. But we demand that this house must also be respected. Madam Speaker, when we go out here, we get to be abused by people that we have become MCAs of Kaute. You understand? I want to declare that myself, I'm very rich. I cannot get 10,000 to, you know. We have been branded that we are MCAs of Kaute, that we don't do our mandate. You know, we cannot allow that. You see? So for this house to be respected, let us give Kuyu a fair hearing by giving him another day to appear in this house and respond to the concerns of these members. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Members, I think at this point, it's only fair that we end it at that point. I make my ruling. Thank you. Honorable members, we have ventilated on this matter now for almost 3 hours. I have listened keenly to members make their submissions, and all the submissions were valid. All the points that you have brought this house to this committee of general oversight are valid, and they are in order. I made another communication earlier in the day where I had requested that we give the CCM up to Monday. That was emanating from the letter that was sent to me from the hospital. In addition to that letter, that communication that I made in the morning, I wish to make further decision. Honorable members, the matter for the General Oversight Committee is of the entire county importance. I have listened carefully on the discussions held here today by members. And it is therefore directed that the CCM Finance is ordered to appear before this House on Monday, 10th March 2025 at 10 a.m. without fail. That ruling is based on the fact that he has said he's sick, and let's just give him that benefit of doubt. That is not to mean that I'm not going to send no, that's not what I'm saying. That is not to mean that I'm not going to request for the authentication of the medical letter that we received. The clerk is directed to give the relevant department that work to make sure that we get that authentication with us. Thank you. Sorry? It's not necessary. Yeah, the letter is adequate. Yes, it is therefore ordered accordingly. Thank you, members. We adjourn, or we go for lunch. Thank you, members, for your participation. I'm so excited. I'm so happy about your participation.